when a country is losing its human capital to foreign countries and calling it job creation, that country is a failed country.
Okay, this is an impromptu shoot that I'm doing. I want you to introduce yourself, and then I'm going to ask you a couple of questions.
All right, so my name is Evans Andrew, and very nice to meet you, man. It's been a wonderful couple of days.
It has been amazing, Evans.
I'm the chairman of the Kenya Network Community Finland, and I'm also a founder of Maisha Nordics. So Maisha Nordics is an organization that promotes mental health and equality in education. So we are based in Finland, but most of our work is in Kenya.
Okay, so I heard you talk, and I want to just understand some of the... I want you to talk about the saga that happened in Finland, the issues that happened in Finland. But I want you to paint context in case somebody doesn't understand it from the beginning, just so that there can be an understanding of what happened and how did it affect then the students or the Kenyan community in Finland.
Well, interesting question. One of the reasons why the Kenya Network Community Finland was formed was because of this very, very challenge. So maybe now about 2 years ago, there was an airlift program that came from Uasin Gishu in Kenya.
Uasin Gishu.
Uasin Gishu. I always get that wrong.
It's all good.
I knew that I was saying it wrong. And wonderful program. The idea was to bring students in fields here, healthcare fields, to fill up the gaps that Finland had in providing workforce to healthcare, right? So wonderful program. The then governor came to Finland to do a feasibility study and signed a contract with the universities here to bring students to Finland. And when he came for the feasibility studies, we were aware, we heard that he was here. Of course, we never saw him, but he came here. So the contract was signed and the program kicked off. And I think the first batch of about 100 students came into Finland. Now, the idea was that the terms of the contract was that the county government is sponsoring students to come to Finland to study. Okay, those are the terms of the contract. When the students came, the first term fee was paid by the county government.
Okay, let me ask you.
Yeah.
Now, was there a link between the county government and Finland? Because was there a link? Was it the county government who was coming to Finland, connecting with the school? Or was there somebody, a Kenyan already here?
There was an agency here.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember the name, but it escapes me. There was an agency here owned by a Kenyan that was the link between the county government and the Finnish universities.
Okay.
So the agency then made this connection, and spark happened. The government of Finland, or rather the education institutions of Finland, went into an MOU with the county government of Uasin Gishu. Did I get it right now?
Uasin Gishu. It's all good.
This is not happening. I'm Kenyan. Anyway, the students came. The first term fee was paid. Now, when the second term came, there was a problem. There was no money coming in to pay the school fees for the students. So there was a disconnect. Now remember, the deal was between county. So there was no personal agreement between a student and the school.
Man.
Even if you had money, even if you had your personal euros that you wanted to pay, the school could not accept it because they had to honor the terms of the agreement.
What?
Yes.
So even if... Okay, so let's take this slow.
Right.
So first term, about 100 students
in
from
different universities.
The
money was paid.
Okay.
Okay.
So all these students are coming from Kenya. You're telling me about 100.
Yes.
all to different universities.
Different universities in Finland.
The Uasin Gishu County has made a connection with the different universities through an agent
Through
here.
an agent who is a Kenyan who lives here.
Okay, so
Right.
that Kenyan lives here.
Yes.
Okay. Then that agent is the one that pays on behalf of the county, or we don't know who pays.
No, the county pays directly
Oh.
to the school account.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
But of course, there is the middleman who made the deal happen.
I get.
You
He's the one who
understand?
picked up, probably organized for picking up
Yes,
people.
yes. How to sign MOUs, what are the terms. He did the connection,
Okay.
right?
So term one, everybody arrives, people are happy, people are in school.
But there's problems even in term one because part of it was the agent was also receiving rent money.
Oh, okay.
Now you come as a student, you're supposed to be in a one apartment, and you find that you are cramped for people.
Oh,
You understand? So it's not that it was not utopia from the beginning. No,
Uh-huh.
there was already problems.
but back home you've been promised you've got your own room, your
So
own.
this is how it now gets darker. Okay. So the students start to experience problems, and us being community leaders here and people who have lived here for a while, these challenges start to reach us, and we start to talk to students. We brought students to my house. What's going on? What's the problem? And a particular student told me that he was sat down and told that within 1 year, and the person actually showed him a picture of an X5 BMW and showed him that within 1 year, you'll be able to buy 5 X5 BMWs. Within 2 months, you'll have reimbursed the money to whoever gave you or where you got it from. You would have reimbursed the money. Within 6 months, you'd have built a mansion like this. This was the info session that they had while in Kenya before they landed in Finland,
Oh, I get it.
right?
I get it.
So it was a big lie from the beginning. And when now we started to pick the pieces from this end, we realized that most of those students were now going through depression, being suicidal. Some are going without food. So as an organization, we started to collect things from the people that we had here: beds, clothes, food, anything that we could get, any excesses that we had. We started collecting them and distributing them to the students because they literally had nothing. Because you're being told your education is ending, you have no job, you need to pay your school fees, and even if you have the money, you cannot pay it. So it means that
Wow.
the only solution is for you to go back home.
And this is in term one.
This is in term one ending. So now you're going into term two. You are sitting waiting because you had given the county government your money. Because the deal, remember, let me just walk you back a little bit. The deal was between the county and the schools. But in reality, it was the parents who were putting the money into the county account.
Oh my God.
You understand?
So forget about when I hear this story, I think about the ones who didn't come.
Yes.
So what you are telling me, there are some who came.
Yes. Yes, people came. They did come. They did come. There are some who did not make it. Yes, I know that. But there are those who really did make it. And there are those because there were kind of different programs. So I don't want to paint. There are programs that brought students, and students did go to the end and graduate. But there's particular, especially this big one agency that brought a lot of students.
From the Uasin Gishu County.
Yes, that is where there were a lot of dishonesty. And as I was telling you earlier, that when you look at the chain of what happened, the total sum of it ended up in one student committing suicide.
Okay, tell me about that student, because you're in mental health.
I'm in mental health.
So
and
did you work with this student?
He was referred to me. I met him a couple of times. I don't want to go so much into details so that I can protect his privacy and the privacy of his family. But why his downfall was even more greater is because he had a job. He had a good job. He had a good job. He was earning well. He was already a full-time nurse. So him coming here, first of all, he was told that he was only going to do an orientation program for about 6 months, and then he will get into the workforce. When he got here, he was told that he has to be in school for 2.5 years. You see, that was already a disconnect. In the info session in Kenya, he was being shown the 5 BMWs. This is the particular student who told me that he was promised that in 1 year he'll be able to buy 5 X5 BMWs. Okay? So when he came here and the reality was different, you can see the disconnect.
I can see it.
He started showing signs of disappointment. He started showing signs of disillusionment. Now, I got to talk to him, and he did tell me, because we even invited him to church, and he did tell me, not even me, he stood up in church and said that he has attempted suicide. That he said that particular day before he came to church, he had been walking back and forth, trying to end his life. And so, of course, we took an interest, tried to bring him closer. We got him out of where he was living. Or no, we didn't. We were in the process of getting out where he was living to join with other students so that he could not be alone. And this had been arranged. For some reason, he did not honor it. He did not join because everything had been done. The furniture has been moved, everything, but eventually he cancelled it. He did not do it. So one day I'm leaving work and I'm getting out of session and I see a couple of missed phone calls. And one of the officials from the organization, because we had talked to him, we had talked to each other about him. And this official calls me and says, "You remember that boy?" I said, "Which boy?" "The boy that we were talking about last week." And my heart just sank because I knew. Yeah. Because I knew. And he put in his WhatsApp stories 2 broken hearts. I still have that screenshot on my phone. He put 2 broken hearts on his WhatsApp story. And that was it. So the roommate goes into the room, finds him, calls one of our officials in the organization. And of course, then the official advises him to call emergency number. By the time we reach there, the body has been removed. I just reached there when the body is now being removed from the building. And that is how we lost him. So when people think about corruption in Kenya, you think about your money being taken, you not getting services. But this is now an example of how corruption can cross one action in somewhere in Eldoret in a boardroom where people sit and make decisions how they are going to squander money for someone who is coming all the way into Europe. If you see that chain of reaction coming, disappointment, disillusionment, at some point we thought that he should even, I think the parents had said that he should even go back home. But after spending all that money, if you think about tracking yourself back and going home. So if you look about that chain, if you look at that chain of events that preceded that decision that was made in that boardroom, it resulted in loss of life.
And that's just one student.
And that is one student. Now, the students who have gone through, of course, this was a wake-up call for all of us, and we went into action to, identify, have mechanisms where we can reach these students faster. We've had students who have attempted suicide after this. Yes, we've had students who have attempted suicide. We've had students who we have been in touch with their families and told the families, this person needs to get out of here right now.
Wow.
And those actions have been taken. We've had students who have had to go back. We've had students that have gone into long-term depression, have been institutionalized. So it is not a small matter, Maybe that one case was highlighted because it ended up in an actual suicide. But we have so much so many cases that are on the edge. And once that program collapsed, some of the students had to lower their education because they came from, some of them came for degree courses, right? They had to go for vocational courses, which then they could fund by themselves. Some parents Now, I'm talking back across the border, back to Kenya. Some parents lost everything because they were told by the county, your son or your daughter is going to be rich. You're not going to have to worry about anything. Sell your land, sell your assets, sell your animals. They lost everything for their sons and daughters to come into these lands. And 3/4, or rather 90% of that money did not even leave Kenya.
Ouch. So my question is, how has this affected relationship between Finnish and Kenyan, and even government to government?
Well, definitely there's a trust problem. One of the best, so let me tell you the history of Kenyans here. So the Finnish government, or rather the Finnish society, studies and do social studies on the different classes of immigrants here. And I remember as late as 2015, a Kenyan living in Finland was the most employable foreigner. Even our percentages were higher than even the Finns, because followed by Estonians, and then the Finnish people. The Finnish people were number 3. We were number 1 as the most employable foreign community in Finland.
What?
Yes, that is how industrious and hardworking we are. And if you look at our history, look at our systems that were created for education, it has worked all over the world. Wherever we go, we work. Wherever we go, we are able to assimilate ourselves into those systems and be able to work because our education is very good. That I can tell you for sure. Now, have we had a PR problem? Absolutely. But even after that scandal, there are students who have still come after that. Of course, now the program has been streamlined. When you come here now, you have to pay on your own. The agencies that are bringing people here are now vetted more, but Kenyans are still coming. So there was a PR problem, yes, but the PR problem has ended up in people getting actual information on what Finland is about, what to expect, what are the cons. You're given what are the cons, and what are the pros, and you are told exactly how the society is and what to expect and what not to expect. So when you're coming here, you're not told about 5x5s. You're not told about building houses in 2 months. You're not told about that. You're told exactly what you're coming to get. So the PR problem, yes, was there, but our reputation superseded that in a way that our history here as citizens of Kenya has been very good, because first of all, we work very hard. When we come to school, we graduate, which most other communities, especially coming from Asia or other parts of Africa, have a problem with. We graduate. We are industrious. We are not into crime. We are not into the cyber crimes that are known with some other countries in Africa. So, because of that, they are able to go back to their statistics. You see, this is the this is the advantage of having statistics. What do our statistics tell us? And where did this problem emanate from? It is not the students. So
Nice.
The PR was G2G. Yes,
Government to government.
Government to government. It was not on this level. So in that regard, there are not. I wouldn't say that a damage has been done as such. Of course, the vetting process has become more rigorous, which to me is not a bad thing. It helps give people the right information so that anybody who lands on these shores knows exactly what they're getting themselves into.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did that situation then lead to the Kenyan?
So that situation led to the formation of the Kenyan Network Community Finland, which has about 850 people, which is a big number in this country.
About how many Kenyans are in Finland?
The statistics are a bit scanty, but it should range between 1,500 to 2,000.
Okay.
Yes. This is the largest community that has come together in Finland. And even bringing it together had a lot of challenges, because even, I have to say this, even as among Kenyans, there's a lot of trust problems. So when something is being, when an organization or an idea is being mooted, there's a lot of question marks, a lot of questions. What is the agenda? What are you guys gaining from it? But we said, first of all, we are not elected. We are people who came together and said, we have an idea to bring the community together, because the more we keep aside, the more we are divided, the more we cannot be able to solve our problems. Because one person is suffering there, the other person is having it okay there, one person is suffering. These people are not connected. So by the time you get to hear what has happened, we had a case of two sisters dying by carbon dioxide poisoning. Big loss to us. We had to come together and figure out how to finish the job and get them buried here. So those challenges, we realized over time, because the Kenyan network community is shy of 1 year. We're turning 1 year in May.
Happy birthday in advance.
Thank you. But we've been able to do so much with 1 year, and I think for me, as sitting as the chair, I've seen firsthand how you don't have to have a big idea. You just have to move together. You don't have to have this utopic winning idea, and that is the Finnish concepts. That is how Finland has been successful. In this country, unlike our country, there is no "I'm smart, so I have to be number one," or "I'm too good at this," or "I can do this in 2 hours and you can do it in 5-10 years, so therefore I'm better than you." In this country, you move together. If you're trying to be too fast, you'll be told, "Yo, come back. Let's move together."
Wow.
And that is some of the concepts that we've picked. Those are some of the things that we've picked with people who have lived here for long.
How long have you lived here?
19 years.
Oh, so you're finished.
I'm finished. That's what we say.
That's funny. I not to go back. Actually, to go back to this situation, to go back to this conversation.
Right.
I've heard the story of the young man who unfortunately took his life.
Right.
But I can imagine people losing their livelihoods,
right,
and still being here. That must have resulted them to doing all kinds of things to make finance, to make money. Did that happen?
So one of the things when you come to Finland is that you need time to assimilate. It can take you a little bit longer because of the language. For you to have it easier here, for you to be able to defend yourself, to read letters, because this is an information-oriented country. It's not like our country where somebody will be sitting down talking to you about what it. This is, you're supposed to know and you're supposed to consume that information by yourself and use it for your daily living. All right? There is no daily info session to tell you this is a train station. You're supposed to go to the internet, look for it. You're supposed to, even with the teachers, the interaction with the teachers is online. So people, when you come here, most of the jobs you'll be doing are odd jobs. Cleaning factories at night, doing dishes in restaurants, all these kinds of jobs. Especially if you don't master the language, you'll probably doing that. You'll be doing that for a long time.
Can you speak the language?
Yes, I've had to, yes.
Like, give me a sentence.
Hyvä kenjalaiset, mun nimi on Evans. Mä oon asunut täällä nyt 19 vuotta. Mulla on perhe täällä ja mäkin on yrittäjä. Ja mä oon Covidin jälkeen mä oon perustanut oma yritys. Ja mä oon ihan tuttuvainen, että meidän kenjalaiset porukka on täällä ja me keskustelemme nyt toisiamme.
I just wanted to figure out. I just wanted to prove that you're saying what you're saying. So no, but back to this situation. Right. Did that desperation lead people to crime? Did it lead people to do what you need to do? Desperation can lead.
I wouldn't say that it led. I wouldn't say that it led to crime. In this country, something like petty crime goes into your record. It's not like Kenya where you do a crime, the police comes, it's finished and you go your way, maybe you serve your sentence. Everything goes into your record. And those things will affect you in the future when you're looking for a job, when you're looking for recommendations and things like that. So crime, this is the right place to say crime doesn't pay.
Good.
But because of this action that took place several miles away, some people went into depression, and depression can make you be reckless. So drink driving, not going to school, simple things like just being hygienic, and you could walk into a place and you see some people and you say, yeah, this person, something is not right, or your schoolmates are just not, you're not just coming to school. And so when we started this organization, we used the same students to help us identify people who are having challenges.
Okay.
So, for example, if somebody had not come to school for a week, then that's the students you need to check out. And for sure, most of the time you'll find that this person is actually going through depression. And so then we come in. And of course, we all have our jobs as well, and we have families, and we also... So you can only do as much. So what we have been concentrating on is empowering the very, very students so that they have a very cohesive, strong circle that they can support each other. One of the things that we also teach them is that you need to assimilate yourself to the society, because one of the very, I would say the backtracking, not knowing the language. Now, not knowing the language will disenfranchise you. Not only will it disenfranchise you, it will put you in the edge of the society. So you'll be barely surviving. You're just doing what you're going to do. You cannot immerse yourself. You don't know what's going on. You cannot vote. For example, if you've not, you don't have information. I had a friend who, he needed to give evidence in court. A letter came, but because it's in Finnish, he couldn't understand. And the court they went, and he was in contempt of court. So such simple things. Now, another thing is that for the students who came as a group, it feels comfortable to be in a group. It's like having a small Kenya here. It doesn't help. It's good to have the support, but it's also good to separate yourself, and it's good to have the balance. Separate yourself and meet the locals and live like you're living here, not like you're living in Kenyandogo, if you know what I mean.
Completely.
Yeah, so those are some of the skills, the soft skills, and some of the support that we can give as an organization and as a community, as community leaders, so that they empower themselves. And I would tell you for sure that they have done very well. They have done very well. Like as the older generation here, we're so proud of what they've done. Some of them have been already able to bring their families here.
Okay, so not all of them left.
No. Only a few left.
Oh, okay.
Only a few left.
Oh, let me ask you, and what about the agent? Was there consequences for the agent?
I don't know that.
You don't know
what
that?
I know is that he cannot do whatever I did anymore. He's flagged.
Okay.
He's flagged, but I don't know any more than that.
Okay.
But what I know is that the deal had to change completely. So, for example, Finland was a free education destination. That changed in 2017. So now, after the change, when now they were supposed to be part of the county government airlift, when that broke down, now they have to pay school fees for themselves. And they have to work for that. And for that, me who has lived there, I can only imagine. But you know what? Wakenya ni nani man. These students have worked.
It's the gift of being a Kenyan.
It's amazing. They've what do they call it? There's a word that they kujipeleka mkutano. But there's a word kujita mkutano. So they've done that. They've been able to sit down with themselves, decide like, okay, I'm here. This is the adversity that I'm in. What am I going to do? Now, not only that, they've done that so well that some of them have brought their families, some of them have brought their siblings, just by doing that, working, paying school fees. But it didn't need to happen.
You know,
it didn't need to get to this point.
I want you to first and foremost address the corruption.
Yes.
I want you to address people, because the reason why I'm doing this because we as Kenyans move on very quickly.
Yeah.
When I had you give this story, I'm like, oh my God, man, I moved on. I didn't know that it resulted to somebody losing their life.
Yeah.
But corruption, this is just one corrupt story. I want you to address the president or the government of Kenya about this forgotten case.
So
What would you say?
So as I told you, we are living this reality every day. We are as recent as 2 weeks ago, I got a call that there was somebody who was actually in the verge of taking his life. Okay? So this is our reality. You see, this happened way back then, and everybody has moved on. But we are here still dealing with the consequences of those decisions. Okay? It's the same thing. If the same thing, like for example,
You get a child.
yeah, okay. A simple example from back in Kenya. We have fishermen in Lake Victoria, right? Their livelihood is in going to fish and sell that fish. When tilapia from China finds itself in Kisumu, what happens? Some families disenfranchised. The father goes to fish, but they don't have the market anymore because there's a cheaper fish coming from somewhere else. This father goes home. What does happen? The wife says, you're a useless man. You can't feed the family.
Flex a marriage.
What does he do? He goes to drink alcohol. He gets frustrated. What do? He's coming home, a car knocks him. He dies down. What is the cause of death? Knocked down by car. No. The cause of death is corruption. You understand? So it's the same thing. That decision that was made there to squander the money that was meant for these students to come and study here ended up in somebody making a decision that my life is useless. I can no longer go back home because I've spent all the money that I was supposed to study in. The fake promises that I was given don't exist in this country. I am nothing. I take my life. That is a direct cause of what corruption can do. And so as the president of Kenya, this is us living, because Kenya is a beautiful country. Why should we be living in this cold country for 8 months in a freezer, tying up and walking out, and living in what we'll say a passive-aggressive society? Because, you see, when these guys come to Kenya, they are treated as kings. Here, it doesn't matter. Yes, I am a citizen here, yes, but I will always be a foreigner who gained citizenship. There's a difference. So, I see all this airlift that people have going to Saudi Arabia, sponsored by government, and government putting that as their numbers for employment and being proud about it. I don't see it as something to be proud. When a country is losing its human capital, I want to use the strongest word possible. When a country is losing its human capital to foreign countries and calling it job creation, that country is a failed country.